That's what they call it. My name's Bill Uphoff. I'm the mayor of Lomita, and welcome to the ceremony. I'd like to introduce my colleagues on the council, Mayor Pro Tem Mark Warnick, Councilwoman Cindy Sagawa, and Councilman Barry Wade. So at this time, my council members know I'm generally pretty timely, so we're going to kind of get through this. So at this time, I'd like to get the presentation of the colors by the Narbonne ROTC. Please stand.
This is stand up roll. This is stand up roll.
Ready? Oh. Ready? Oh. Easy. Huh? ROTC dismissed. Not yet? Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Warnick, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Good morning. Please place your right hand over your heart and let's pledge allegiance to the greatest country in the world. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so now I dismiss the ROTC, right? Okay. Hold on. Hey, feet. Us. Ready? Hut. 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 Oh, hut. Hut. Please be seated. So again, thank you all for being here. So at this time, if you're a veteran, please stand up. Please sit down, stand up. You get a little exercise, right? That's good. He's fine. If you're a family of a veteran, please stand up. So if you look around you and see everybody standing up, that just, exemplifies what makes this great country that we are, and everyone that sacrifices for the country. So with that, I appreciate it. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. And be seated. So at this time, any of my colleagues on the council want to say anything? Okay. I'd ask the VFW to come up. Would you guys like to say something, please?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel Wong, commander of VFW Post 1622. I'd like to begin thanking Lomita City Hall for hosting us and each of you for joining us as we honor Veterans Day here in Veterans Park. I'd also like to extend a special thank you to Narbonne JROTC for the presentation of the close of the day. Today we gather not only to pay tribute to the men and women who have worn the uniform of our country, but to reflect on the enduring legacy of service, sacrifice, and patriotism that each veteran embodies. From the beaches of Normandy to the islands of the Pacific, from the jungles of Vietnam to the hills of Korea, the mountains of Afghanistan to the cities and deserts of Iraq, right here in the States on critical missions at home. Veterans have served as defenders of the freedom of ideals that we cherish. Their dedication is as present in their service overseas as it is here at home, where many continue to serve their communities every day. It is especially meaningful that we gather on November 11th at 11 a.m., a date and time chosen to honor the end of World War I, which ceased with the signing of an armistice on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Today, Veterans Day serves as a reminder of that promise of peace and the ongoing sacrifices that veterans make to protect our nation and preserve our way of life. I have the privilege of working with veterans who continue to serve their communities in new ways. They remind us that the call to serve doesn't end when the uniform is put away. It lives on in acts of leadership, mentorship, and community. To all veterans here with us, we thank you deeply for your courage, commitment, and sacrifice. You are the nation's strength, and we are forever grateful. After today's ceremony, we invite you all to join us at VFW Post 1622 Lomita for refreshments. We will be honored to continue this time of remembrance and fellowship with each of you. Thank you.
And at this time, I'd like to bring up our guest speaker.
Come on, young Rudy!
Rudy Deleon.
First of all, I'd like to say that I'm grateful and honored to be able to speak to you just for a few minutes. My daughter asked me, Dad, would you mind to speak at the Veterans Day ceremony? And she said, you only have to talk. She knows that public speaking is something that really is hard for me to do, but she says, you only have to talk for 20 or 30 seconds. Okay, I can say Happy Veterans Day, you say my name, and I'm done. But anyway, oh, I'm sorry. You hear me now? Anyway, as was mentioned before, I always recall that Veterans Day originated as Armistice Day on, as he mentioned, the 11th day, the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month. Very significant date. But after the end of World War I, it was celebrated each year to honor our veterans. And one thing our country has really, I have felt done well, is honor their veterans in many ways. But after World War II and Korean War, President Eisenhower officially changed his name to Veterans Day. I grew up in a generation where mostly all the fathers of everyone I knew had served in World War II, and some had served in Korea. And many of them interrupted their lives to do what they needed to do to serve their country. There's many things that inspired me to serve, but one thing that made the greatest impression on me was my dad told me how when, it had dealt with my grandfather. My grandfather and grandmother were immigrants here from Mexico. They come here and raise their 5 children during very difficult times. My grandfather had to work multiple jobs just to put food on the table. But when World War II, when Pearl Harbor was attacked and the United States entered World War II, my grandfather gathered his 3 sons and said, boys, we live in the greatest country in the world. Everything we have, we owe to our country. Our country needs us now, and it's time for us to do our part. And all 4 of them went to enlist. And my dad says, I wasn't worried about myself. I wasn't worried about my 2 brothers. He said, but I was really worried about Pop. And he said it was the greatest relief that he was rejected for the sole reason that he was sole support of my grandmother and my two aunts. But my one uncle served in the Army and received a battlefield commission and became an officer. My other uncle was in what was then called the Army Air Corps. It's now the Air Force. And my dad served in the United States Navy. He served with the 3rd Division of Marines in Guam, and then later he had served on the USS George, a destroyer escort. I enlisted in the Navy after high school, and I went to Vietnam on a coastal minesweeper, and served there. And there's a lot of experiences in the service that permanent memories. One thing I'd like to say is that twice I sailed into Pearl Harbor. The first time on the USS Warbler, the coastal minesweeper. The second time when I was assigned to the USS Stare, a guided missile destroyer. And on both occasions, we sailed up abreast of the Arizona and saluted the Arizona. But what that meant is you showing honor and respect to that ship. Anyway, made everlasting impression. My family and I were very honored to serve our country. You know, my dad was very patriotic. Growing up, we always, whenever the national anthem was played on TV, he had us all standing there saluting and the TV, and he reminded us that my grandfather, when he was small, did the same thing with them. Of course, it was radio instead of television. But anyway, all of us were honored to have served our country and proud, will be forever proud for doing so. And I'd like to thank the mayor and the city of Lomita for letting me speak to you for today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Uncle Rudy!
Okay, so at this time, I'd like to do the presentation of the wreath in a moment of silence. Let me get the presentation of the wreath. Oh, yeah. You guys do it. Please stand for the taps. Thank you. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming out today, and keep veterans in your mind today and forever, right? I mean, they really contribute and make our country great. And with that being said, we are dismissed. I just want to give a shout out to 40101 for the wreath and the flowers. Sir, any other comments?
Yeah, thank you all for joining. Thank you to District 4, Commander Doug Perkins. Thank you to all the post members that showed up. And thank you, JROTC and the City of Lomita.
Thank you. Have a great day. And as noted, VFW, they're continuing that later, so go over to VFW and get some refreshments.